Hey guys, Walt's here. I just want to make a short video about the actual Golden Shovel poem instructions to go through them with you for those of you who are at home, so that this makes more sense possibly. Because this is tough. Like it's a cool assignment and it's going to be tricky, but I think you guys will enjoy it. But you got to follow the rules to make it a true Golden Shovel poem. So on Common Lit, you should have read Storm Ending by Gene Toomer and Truth by Nikki Grimes, and both of those poems have kind of the same theme. We go through tough times, but things get better. Now, we talked about this. I talked about this in a previous video. The first line of Storm Ending is "Thunder blossoms gorgeously above our heads," and that's the backbone of this poem right here. So, what Nikki Grimes did was she built out her poem from these lines. So, a Golden Shovel poem takes a striking line from something else, and then uses that as the backbone of an original poem. So, there's her poem. You've read that on Common Lit. Now, the two terms that you got to know Golden Shovel poem. That's a poem that uses a striking line. It's a backbone for a new poem. And this is key, with a theme similar to that of the original. Okay. You want to, you want your original poem to live, maybe not right next door to the other poem, but like in the same neighborhood. It's got to be in the ballpark, to use another cliche there. All right. Now, striking line. This is any line that strikes you from anything else. I think for these instructions or this assignment, I've mentioned song specifically because that's like the easiest thing to do. But it could be from a book. I've never seen that happen, but it's an option. There's like a line from a book you really like. You could use that. You could use a line from another poem you really like if you're into poetry. So a striking line is a line from something else where you're just like, whoa, that's just cool. I like it. Now, one of my favorite poems is "Because I Could Not Stop for Death" by Emily Dickinson. I don't know why I like it so much. Really, it's not an unhappy poem, but I mean it's not a happy poem. Emily Dickinson was an interesting person, lived a very internal life, but this poem is one of my favorites. Now here's my favorite stanza: "Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves in immortality." So I hope you could hear it when I say it out loud. There's a rhythm. There's a specific meter to this poem, and it has a rhyme scheme. So this poem is a fixed form poem, and I'm going to turn it into a free verse poem, a free form poem, because in a striking line poem, you're not going to have rhyme. So I'm going to work with that third line there. The carriage held but just ourselves. So I gave a little explanation here. The original poem is about the relationship between death and immortality. I tried to focus my poem on the idea that we can't just sit around waiting for a ride. We must take an active role in making our futures become reality before our carriage arrives. So here's what I ended up writing. "I do not know what the future holds, but I'm not waiting for a golden carriage to take us there. We've seen the future, we've held it in our hands, but now we just have to get there, make it happen for ourselves." Notice these lines, I guess you could say, wrap around. You don't have to end the line. You don't have to have an end mark, a period at the end of every line. I do not know what the future holds. You see how that wraps around. I keep the original line, "the carriage held but just ourselves." I keep all that at the end. That's my backbone. And I build on the other side of that. So make sure when you do that, and how I did this when I did my rough draft, which you guys will do here, I literally wrote down the right-hand side of the page, or I guess, down the right-hand side of the page, I wrote straight down "the carriage held but just ourselves," and then just started doodling ideas over here and just kind of working it out, trying to figure out how to wrap it around and make it work. So don't panic. This is a rough draft. You guys are going to have a couple goes at this. And so remember, whatever line you pick, the key, this stuff right here is part of the discussion in this, that Emily Dickinson is having with the relationship between death and immortality, and where she fits in there. Cool. If you have any questions, leave a private comment on this assignment. I hope you guys enjoy this one, and yeah, have a good one.